Hey everyone, my name is Carlos and I wanted to talk about tutoring on the Wyzant platform. I've been a tutor at Wyzant for about a year now, and I kind of want to discuss how I got started and give a couple of tips. And I might break this up into a series of videos because there's quite a bit of information. I started recording one video and I just found myself going into a rabbit hole for different things. So I was like, you know what? Probably can break this up into a couple of different videos. So this first video, I want to talk about how I got started and like my first session and how that went. So I started about a year ago, and you can take a look at my profile. I've done almost 200 hours of tutoring. I've actually done probably more than that because these hours are the tutoring sessions. Actually, no. I've had a few outside through Zoom, but for the most part, I think I'm about 200 hours. Anyhow, as you can see, I've got a 5.0 out of 91 ratings, 91 different submissions. And if we look down here, I've got some reviews from folks that I've tutored, and yeah, people have been really nice with the reviews. I really appreciate them. And it's been really fun. So I got started about a year ago, like I said, like around June of last year. And I think I signed up and I applied to a couple of, I saw a couple of jobs. If you come over here, I can show you. There's a job board on the site. And so, you can look here and see there's different jobs here. So I applied a couple. I didn't really get a response. About a month later, after I signed up, someone reached out to me, and they were in a coding bootcamp. They were in the Trilogy curriculum. Trilogy is like a company, I guess, that they do this bootcamp. They built this curriculum, and they basically host the boot camps, different universities and like community colleges. So this one person was going through the boot camp, and she reached out to me, and I was pretty nervous because I have never really tutored anybody. I have done some mentoring through Udacity, but I was really familiar with the coursework in the front-end mentor nano degree because I had gone through it, so I was aware of all the different lessons or the different assignments. So with that background, it was easier for me to help mentor those in the program. But with this, I didn't know what to expect. So I got this one student, and they were working on like a weather API, and I helped them out, and it went well. And for my first session, like I said, I was really nervous. So what I just told them is I said, we will try, let's do about 5-10 minutes. You can kind of brief me real quick on what you're working on, what you're having difficulty with, and if I can help you, we'll keep going. If I can't really help you, if it's something outside my wheelhouse or I don't understand, then we'll cancel. No fee or anything like that. It'll be no charge. And so it worked out great, and I was able to help. And half the time, it's like if you know something, if you've done projects, if you've built stuff with JavaScript, if HTML, CSS, JavaScript, you could probably help somebody who's just beginning, because they're going to hit a lot of the walls that you hit while you were learning. So you definitely can help, and I think it's important to realize you don't have to be an expert. You just need to feel comfortable. If you feel comfortable working in JavaScript, you're good to go. Now, after that, I got a few more students, and it just kept rolling from there. And now I'm at a point where, I don't really do the job board anymore. Like I said, I only do a few hours a week. It's a side gig for me. It's just extra money. But what I just do is, I'm on the board. My profile is public. You can change it to be hidden if you want. And so what I'll do is I'll usually have it open. I'll get a few students. If I find that I start getting some regulars, I usually get a couple of students from boot camps. Like I've helped people through Codesmith and General Assembly and Trilogy. I will then put back as hidden, and I'll just kind of help. That way I just have a small group. And when I find that they kind of moved on and they're getting through the course, and they don't need my help anymore, I'll reopen it and I'll get help. I'll get more students. I get a lot of like high school students too, and like I said, a lot of boot camp students and such. Now, I do have that background having mentored on Udacity. If you want to get started, one way to do this is what I recommend is go to Udemy. Especially, I would assume, like if you're a web developer, and this isn't like Wyzant isn't limited to web development. You can do like math and science and whatever. There's all kinds of courses, and I would assume that math and science you're going to be with high school and college students. But if you're doing web development, and you're especially if you're like self-directed, you may have come across Udemy. They always have great courses, and there's always like a sale on them for like $10-12. Anyway, I recommend if you want to get started and you're not sure if you're able to handle questions, or you're afraid of like, I don't know if you need to build up that confidence, right? To help a student. I recommend going on to a course like this one. This is the Colt Steele Web Development Bootcamp. What I really like about this course, it's an excellent course, by the way. Fantastic stuff in here. But what I really like about it is it has so many students. There's always questions in here. And so you could try tackling some of this stuff, like this person right here. I had noticed my nav bar would automatically collapse when attempting to open it. And so they've got the code. It looks like they're using, I'm going to guess they're using Bootstrap. So, you can go in here and just jump in. And maybe I'll do a video about like just tackling some of these questions. But you can jump in here, test out the code, figure out what's wrong, and how you word it, right? So you could probably get in here and figure out what's wrong, but then having to explain it is what's like critical about the tutoring, because that is really the key. Because you might be able to figure stuff out, but now you have to explain it, and explaining things just takes you to a whole nother level of understanding something. So that's what's really good about this. So anyway, you can see this person posted. There's always like this automated response. They have these teaching assistants, and they will respond with this, but they're really cool. If you respond, they'll usually give you props for answering, helping them out. So there's always that. So I recommend, if you want to build up some confidence and feel like you can tutor, this is a great way to do this. Just jump onto one of these courses and help out students. And so I figured, this could be part one of this series. I can definitely do more channel or more videos geared towards becoming a tutor. I think it's a great option to just build up a little bit of a little side gig. It's really fun. I love it because I always get like these different projects that people work on. It forces me to learn something new. I've had one person who wanted to do, they were like a data science student, and they were doing something with D3, and I had barely done anything with D3. And I communicated, look, I haven't really done with D3, but I can take a look. And half the time it's just get into code and figure this stuff out. So we got a really nice graph working in D3, and it was really cool. So that's what I really enjoy about it. It's just the different things, and so I can definitely do some more videos about that. So stick around. If you really like what you see, it would be great if you gave me a like. If you subscribe, that'd be even better. If you have any questions about tutoring in general, or on Wyzant, or anything to that nature, leave me a comment down below. And like I said, stay tuned, because I'll have more videos on tutoring, my process, and I have some good tips and tricks. I also would like to do more videos where maybe I do some coding, how I approach projects from a high level, break down how I work on my projects, because I find that also is something very common. A lot of students have trouble getting started. They have trouble breaking down the project into steps that they can work. So I think it'd be cool to make videos just breaking that process down and doing the coding as well. I know there's a lot of channels out there that have fantastic, Traversy Media, DevEd, all these, there's great channels that already cover a lot of the coding. But I like to just kind of get into the getting started. So I thought it'd be cool to make videos where, I find a project and I break down how I started and then just get coding into it. And maybe down the road do like maybe even some live coding sessions here on YouTube. So like I said, follow along, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.